A blue-haired woman lunged forward, her glowing weapon slicing through the air with fierce determination, while a red-haired woman watched in shock. Urgency filled the air as the frantic woman clutched her injured arm, panicking because it would not move and the medicine was wearing off. A fierce woman raised her sword high, defiant as she prepared to confront her unseen opponent. A close-up revealed the dark-haired young man, one shocked eye reflecting the revelation before him. Energy crackled in the air as the determined fighter raised his sword toward the challenger. He lay on the ground, defeated and drained after the fierce battle. A furious woman threatened her opponent, saying she had kept her promise and demanding respect for her power. He stood tall, triumph radiating from him as he declared victory, but another figure protested and refused to accept the outcome. Tension thickened as the distressed young woman clutched her chest, feeling an unseen presence loom over her as if someone were still watching her. Blood on his face, he fought against the urge to give up, his determination fueling his resolve. A desperate man urgently pleaded with the young woman to concede, his voice heavy with concern. A confident man with long hair mocked the frightened woman, saying she still had not learned her lesson. Yi yelled urgently, anticipating an unseen attack, his voice cutting through the tense atmosphere. He launched a stone with fierce determination, leaving a bright trail as it sliced through the air. He wielded a glowing sword, striking forcefully and sending debris flying in every direction. A tense atmosphere hung in the air as a confident man confronted a young lady, sensing her intense hostility. He questioned her about her vendetta against their mistress. A defiant character with blue hair asserted that entering the competition meant being ready for injury, questioning the family's right to interfere. The elderly man carried an injured girl, urgency etched on his face as he warned a mysterious woman about the consequences of her arrogance. A triumphant atmosphere enveloped the scene as a young man with dark hair raised his hand in celebration, marking a pivotal victory. A worried figure carried an unconscious woman, concern etched across his face. Then another young man with dark hair approached, asking if she was okay. A bleeding woman looked up at Yi, expecting acknowledgement for her efforts against the odds. A supportive young man with dark hair expressed his admiration, saying the other character had been amazing. A desperate figure urged a young man with dark hair to defeat her rival and secure first place. He spoke confidently to his allies, reassuring them that they could trust him in the unfolding challenge. A tense conversation unfolded as an authoritative figure urged Yi to focus on his match, dismissing his concern for the young lady's injuries. The scoreboard lit up, displaying Yi's name alongside, setting the stage for a fierce competition. He waved to the audience with a confident smile, radiating charisma and assurance. A confident character taunted Yi, suggesting he concede for appearances, displaying a smug demeanor in the competitive setting. Yi appeared resolute, asserting that he would take the challenge seriously. Tension filled the air as a determined fighter stealthily reached for a hidden sword, ready to confront an unseen threat. A surge of energy crackled in the air as a determined fighter raised his arm, preparing to unleash a powerful attack. He began counting, focusing intently on his next move. A tense atmosphere hung thick as Yi's brother questioned what he was doing. A menacing aura enveloped Yi as he brandished a glowing knife, ready for the confrontation ahead. He asserted that he was just warming up. A triumphant atmosphere filled the arena as he raised his arm, signaling the start of the match with unwavering confidence. He wielded the glowing sword with confidence as he declared that his brother needed to take things more seriously. He commanded an enlargement, his eyes glowing with intensity as he prepared for the next phase of the intense battle. A powerful energy surged around Yi as he commanded the glowing object to grow larger. A surge of energy crackled in the air as he unleashed a powerful attack that shook the ground beneath him. An older man urgently warned a young man with dark hair about an imminent threat, his voice filled with concern. He stood resolutely, gripping a blade as swirling energy enveloped him, radiating determination and focus in the midst of chaos. He stood menacingly, gripping his weapon tightly as he faced an unseen threat, determination etched on his features. A character with long white hair yelled urgently at Yi, warning him to get out of the way. Yi prepared to unleash a powerful attack, fury igniting within him as he shouted the name of his technique, Starfall. A surge of energy erupted as Yi delivered a powerful strike, shaking the air with its intensity. Yi shouted, overwhelmed by the intensity of the moment. He stood firm, his intense stance radiating determination as he prepared to strike an opponent. He desperately reached for a broken sword on the ground, pleading for payment, revealing its importance as a mid-tier spirit weapon. He stood in the stadium, his confident gaze challenging the unseen opponent to continue their fight. He lamented the loss of his sword, feeling a wave of despair wash over him in the midst of the battle. A triumphant young man with dark hair raised his arm in victory. Relief washed over the young man with dark hair as he cried out about the narrow escape, tears glistening in his eyes. A sense of dread hung in the air as he sat on the ground, looking shocked and distressed. He reflected on the attack, fearing he might not have survived if it had hit him. A chilling presence loomed as he stood confidently, red eyes burning bright against the dark backdrop. He thought there was something off about the opponent surrendering. Astonished, a young woman gazed upwards, marveling at Yi's extraordinary abilities, wondering how he had managed such a feat. A blue-haired character expressed disbelief about Yi's supposed bribery of, calling it shameless and outrageous. The blue-haired character pondered if he truly went this far just to meet in the finals. A triumphant figure raised his arms in celebration, joy radiating from him as he announced their victory. He addressed the audience with pride, claiming their success was due to his unwavering guidance of the students. An elderly man with a long beard reacted with alarm, expressing shock about his underestimation of his competitor. Three figures sat majestically on thrones, each exuding an air of authority in the ornate chamber. He sat in a grand chair, frustration bubbling over as he lamented the Academy's embarrassing defeat by a pig butcher. A confident female character expressed skepticism about Yi's skills, believing he would be exposed in the finals. Yi expressed his growing fondness for someone, hinting at a change in perspective amidst the ongoing chaos. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as the announcer prepared to reveal the final match details. She announced the eagerly awaited final match featuring Su against Yi. The crowd erupted in applause as he stood confidently, embodying pride and accomplishment in the moment. A playful young woman with pink hair asked if he had anything to say about their childhood romance. A playful young woman with pink hair expressed disbelief about childhood sweethearts, questioning if strong people are naturally drawn together. Another young man with dark hair cynically contradicted her, recounting how Su abandoned Yi after awakening. He noted that despite Yi awakening as a life-type profession, he trained desperately just to catch up to her. Frustration radiated from an expressive and exasperated young man with dark hair as he raised his hand, emphasizing his disbelief about the effort required for love. A furious woman pointed emphatically, expressing disdain for someone clinging to a swan, labeling the obsession as pathetic. A passionate woman raised an urgent concern about the seriousness of women's safety. A tense atmosphere filled the arena as Yi impatiently demanded to start the match, eager for the confrontation to begin. An aggressive figure pointed at Yi, insisting that their actions would only intensify hatred and suggesting surrender. An unknown figure restrained Yi, leaving him feeling vulnerable and overwhelmed in a tense standoff. Encouraged by the crowd, a determined young man with dark hair stood confidently, ready to face the challenge ahead. The crowd cheered as a determined young man with dark hair declared his intention to prove his stance through action soon. A determined young man with dark hair himself, seeking the referee's approval to begin the match. The atmosphere crackled with excitement as the referee raised his hand, signaling the start of the match. The tension rose as a confident character with blue hair accused her opponent of using despicable tricks to secure their previous victories. The atmosphere shifted as a furious young man with dark hair confronted an imposing figure, his defiance echoing in the charged air. A powerful energy surged as a determined man with dark hair launched an attack on a falling figure. A swirling energy crackled in the air, drawing the attention of a determined man with dark hair. he reached out towards the energy, his focus unwavering. A powerful young man with dark hair slapped a surprised figure, sending him flying across the space. Two startled characters reacted in shock to the sudden violence. A surge of energy pulsed from Yi's hand, directed with intense focus toward an unseen target. He slapped the character with blue hair, leaving her shocked and angry as she processed the sudden betrayal. One determined fighter gripped another's wrist tightly, his intensity palpable as tension filled the air. He smirked confidently, ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead. The atmosphere crackled with urgency as a character with blue hair called out intensely, seeking attention amidst the chaos. A fierce confrontation unfolded as a conflicted character with blue hair expressed anguish over love transformed into hatred. Yi observed, surprise evident in his gaze. He covered his face with one hand, stress etched across his features as he struggled with his thoughts. A determined fighter gripped his sword tightly, radiating defiance as he faced unseen threats. He demanded that others stop pretending. He gripped the glowing sword tightly, acknowledging that his rival had improved a bit. A tense moment hung in the air as a character, with glowing eyes, prepared to unleash her sword's power. She declared that it was time to use her trump card against him. A confident figure stood tall, wielding a glowing sword, ready to summon the frost dragon amid swirling mist. A determined and powerful figure wielded the sword, energy crackling around him as he focused on the challenge ahead. A furious character charged forward, brandishing a sword, and declared that Yi was responsible for the chaos unfolding around them. A massive ethereal dragon emerged from a glowing mist, captivating Yi with its awe-inspiring presence. A worried female character cautioned about the risks of her reckless move, expressing concern for the strain it would place on her body. He focused intently on an unseen target, his intense gaze revealing a moment of determination that signaled the rising stakes of the battle ahead. A swirling dragon energy surged around him, igniting Yi's determination as he leaped forward, ready to confront the challenge ahead. A mystical dragon made of ice swirled ominously through the air, its presence threatening the calm before the storm. Still, a young man with dark hair watched the dragon's approach with alert eyes. A fierce determination radiated from Yi as he concentrated on the challenge that lay ahead, his focus unyielding. A menacing creature loomed close, its breath hot against Yi's skin as he desperately dodged its jaws. Yi endured pain, his intense expression revealing the depth of his struggle as he faced the ominous threat before him. A thick mist swirled around a hand reaching for a sword, anticipation crackling in the air. He grabbed the sword, his resolve sharpening like the blade itself. The fierce female warrior raised her sword, determined to claim victory as the male character prepared to leap away from her powerful swing. He gripped the blade tightly, prepared to confront the looming threat with unwavering determination. He sensed danger as he launched a lethal move aimed directly at him. A powerful dragon-like entity emerged as he leaped towards it, showcasing his courage amidst the chaos of battle. A frost dragon appeared menacingly, drawing shocked gasps from the crowd as he reacted in disbelief. A confident young man steps onto the icy ground, dismissing the spectacle as mere flashy nonsense. A tense confrontation unfolded as a furious character with blue hair accused Yi of cheating, disbelief evident in her voice. A shadowy figure with glowing red eyes loomed menacingly over Yi, who stood resilient against the threat. A fierce and unyielding character brandished a sword, determined to challenge her unseen opponent. She swung her weapon with defiance, refusing to back down. A fierce young man with dark hair delivered a powerful punch, striking his opponent's face with unrelenting force. He appeared distressed, touching his face with a bloodied hand as the weight of his injuries sunk in. A determined young man with dark hair declared the match was over, asserting his dominance with an expressive gesture. He expressed frustration, noting that the ease of the victory felt like bullying the weak. A sharp blade gleamed ominously in the dark atmosphere, signaling the beginning of a fierce confrontation. He revealed the sword, ready to face whatever lay ahead. A tense moment unfolded as a determined fighter with dark hair confronted a looming figure, gripping his weapon with defiance. Yi threatened that any further challenge would turn the match into a life-and-death duel. A tense atmosphere hung heavy as he held his weapon menacingly towards his opponent. The opponent surrendered, expressing her fear while sitting on the ground. A victorious young man with dark hair raised his arm triumphantly, celebrating the win as the crowd erupted in cheers. A shocked group erupted in amazement at the announcement that the champion this year was a pig butcher. The tension thickened as the young man with dark hair contemplated a violent action against the woman he once loved. He considered slashing her neck with his blade, reflecting on their past. A tense atmosphere filled the air as a woman confronted teacher with a challenging question about her judgments. A woman questioned someone off-panel, expressing concern about the plans involving Yi. A confident character considered extending an offer to a young man with dark hair, but ultimately admiring him despite the decision. Yi reflected seriously, expressing concern about the Academy's reputation being tarnished by a pig butcher. A confident woman confronted Yi, declaring that the humiliation of her student had set a grudge between them. A thoughtful young man with dark hair gazed into the distance, noticing a shadowy figure slowly approaching him. A confident young man with dark hair strides forward amidst a cheering crowd, embodying pride and determination. A calm and wise man extended his hand, reassuring Junior that victory and defeat are both common in battle. A confident young man with dark hair introduced himself as a second-year student and future senior at Academy. A girl with blue hair expressed her humiliation and anger towards Senior. She couldn't accept the defeat and felt disrespected by the slap. A defiant young man with dark hair threatened an unseen opponent, promising to relay the consequences of offending someone from Academy. A tense silence hung in the air as a smug young woman with dark hair questioned the outcome of the match. He confirmed it was over, his tone calm and assertive. A confident young man with dark hair smirked at the audience, believing he had the upper hand in the unfolding drama. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as a mysterious figure addressed Yi and another character, demanding their attention regarding private matters. A confrontation brewed as an arrogant young man with dark hair taunted Yi, claiming victory did not change his worthlessness. A pig's head appeared unexpectedly, leaving a young man with dark hair confused and surprised by the bizarre sight before him. A fierce man confronted his opponent, declaring that they would regret calling him a fierce and vengeful character confronted Yi, determined to repay the humiliation she had suffered with the backing of Academy. A tense atmosphere hung in the air as a determined fighter raised a hand, questioning his opponent's intentions. A confident character laughed mockingly, claiming his opponent was wrong to think this was a duel, as a menacing figure threatened with the words slaughter. He soared downwards with a fierce expression, ready to engage in battle against an unseen opponent. He stood confidently, preparing to teach a lesson that would make his opponent rethink their future and Academy. Yi recoiled from an attack, the tension thick in the air as several men surrounded him, ready to strike. Yi gripped the older man's wrist with determination, questioning the dishonor in stepping in for someone who couldn't accept defeat. Shock rippled through the air as he screamed about the family, his voice filled with urgency and disbelief. A worried young man with dark hair stood, seeking answers about his condition. Old reassured him that was fine and had sent him to check on him. He confronted three suited figures, his defiant stance radiating confidence as he demanded to know their connection to the situation. A fierce man shouted a warning, declaring that touching the young lady meant war against the family. A shocked young man with dark hair reacted to unexpected news about Yi's connection to the family, his expression a mix of disbelief and curiosity. A female character leaped into the air, her confident determination shining through. He watched her, amazement flickering in his eyes. A confident and assertive figure prepared to step down, the tension in the air crackling with anticipation. A defiant and bold young man confronted an arrogant figure, accusing him of bullying a student from their academy. A thoughtful woman questioned Yi about his perspective on Skyvault Academy, her curiosity evident in her expression. He contemplated the rivalry between their academy, feeling the weight of their influence pressing down on him. A tense atmosphere enveloped the scene as he narrowed his eyes, sensing the challenge ahead. He assessed the situation, acknowledging that things had just gotten troublesome. A furious female character pointed accusingly at Yi, claiming she would repay a past slap tenfold. He confronted an unseen threat, his anger palpable as he issued a fierce warning to anyone daring to approach. A tense silence filled the air as two characters expressed shock over a potential conflict involving Yi. One worried man exclaimed about the fight brewing nearby. Another character warned that they should escape before chaos erupted. A concerned and authoritative woman walked towards the viewer, declaring that anyone entering academy would become her student. A brilliant light illuminated the scene, revealing a young man with dark hair, his expression filled with alarm and uncertainty. He questioned his ability to protect his student, worry etched on his face. A radiant burst of energy surrounded a young man with dark hair as he stood ready against multiple challengers. He collided his foot with another's, creating a tense moment that caught everyone by surprise. A group of allies stood confidently, ready to confront an unseen opponent, their faces reflecting determination and defiance. He declared a challenge against anyone who dared bully their alliance. A sudden wave of surprise washed over a young man with dark hair as he spotted familiar figures in the crowd. He asked Uncle and Miss why they were there too. The older man expressed concern, warning that Miss had come along worried about Yi. A confident figure questioned Yi about his involvement with the Nine Heavens Alliance, her eyes obscured yet full of intrigue. A confident character warned Ant not to make things difficult for Yi, who had already joined the Nine Heavens Alliance. Three shocked characters reacted to the news about Yi's involvement in the Nine Heavens Alliance. Surprised and agitated, one exclaimed that things were getting complicated. Concerned and tense, another reacted with worry about the situation. Anxious and restless, the last commented on how more big shots were entering the battlefield. A sudden realization struck a young man with dark hair as he learned about Yi's unexpected alliance. He expressed disbelief, questioning if he was dreaming about Yi joining the Nine Heavens Alliance. A towering character reflected on the rejection of their graduating class from a prestigious alliance, questioning how Yi could possibly be accepted. A calm and assertive woman addressed Yi, revealing that her father was once an old friend. She suggested they let the matter drop. A cheerful woman smiled as she expressed her gratitude to Ant on behalf of her father. A confident girl gestured toward the exit, urging Yi to follow her lead. The atmosphere turned awkward as a young woman with blue hair expressed concern for teacher, apologizing for possibly embarrassing her. A contemplative young man with dark hair looked thoughtfully, questioning the motivations behind temporary victories and defeats in the heat of competition. A confident girl spoke about the destiny of the tiger, contrasting it with the fate of the house dog. A young man with dark hair expressed his gratitude to teacher, feeling a newfound confidence and understanding. A surge of blue energy crackled around Yi as he gripped the sword, his determination radiating throughout the intense atmosphere. A fierce woman charged forward, shouting a name that echoed through the intense atmosphere. A fierce woman confronted Yi, sword in hand, as he stood still in defeat. She claimed his loss stemmed from his own arrogance and underestimation. A fierce woman brandished her weapon, challenging Yi with an unwavering determination, demanding a rematch in a year's time. He stood confidently, confronting two anxious figures who watched him with apprehension and nervousness. He smirked confidently in the shadowy environment, ready to face whatever challenge awaited him. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.